Hey everybody, I'm Sai, and I am here with Shyphlosion, and we're going to be doing a cheeky little interview. You probably know the drill. We're going to be naming some Pokémon, and we're going to be talking some stuff and having a good time. That's what it's all about. But please, Shyphlosion, introduce yourself.
Hello everybody, I am Shyphlosion, variety content caster. I've been streaming 7 years running at this point. We go back in the days of 2016. Some of the earlier days of Twitch where shit really started picking up steam. And I got into content creation for one simple purpose, and that was the pain of loss. At the time, I was pretty heavily invested in a relationship with an ex-girlfriend of mine. And at the time, my ideas of wanting to be a content creator and also wanting to be with that person were sort of conflicting with each other to the point where I couldn't really get off the ground. I slowly started to push my way into it, but once we broke up, I just full sent it, and 7 years later, I don't really have many regrets in my time of content creation. If you have met me before, if you know who I am, hey, if you don't, I stream mainly Destiny 2. You'll catch me playing Dead by Daylight every so often. I used to stream it a lot more when I was a smaller channel. Stuff like Roblox has appeared on the channel. I know that's gonna get a couple of laughs. It's pretty funny. Eventually, you will be seeing more Pokemon stuff, as I have been slowly in the background working on setting up some legit Pokemon playthroughs. Currently going through Infinite Fusion as of this recording.
It's good that you touched on Pokemon, because as you can see in front of you, you've got a massive list. Now, as we were talking about before, straight away, I think every single person has picked Eevee. I'm pretty sure every single person has picked Eevee.
That's the only fucking normal type on the list for Gen 1 that I actually give a shit about. Like, what do you want me to pick? Snorlax? Yeah, fat. Cool.
So as we're talking and as we're going through this, feel free to just pick away. Go at your own pace, go as fast as you want, go as slow as you want, but the idea is let's see how many generations you can complete before we finish the interview. Oh wow, you're gonna go doubling down on this. I like it. I like it. Wait for it. Perfect.
Oh shit.
No. Yep, missing no. Everyone kind of goes for that.
And drink the buff because hungry box. What about starter? I'll give you a fucking guess. Gimmick form.
Yep.
Oh. All right.
So gimmicks is where it gets interesting, because if this is a little out of your comfort zone, this is gonna get interesting. Yeah, I was waiting for that, to be honest. Like, if Articuno isn't your favorite out of all those, like, so if you click the favorite, this is what you're gonna see. So that's what you're gonna see. So obviously now you have to pick whichever one you think is your favorite out of every single one of those.
I like it 3 times in Gen 1, but when I saw Mega Charizard X, I lost my shit. All right, so
I've
Gen
got
1 out of the way.
I've got to ask. I've got to ask before we move on to the next gen and more questions.
Right.
You picked Articuno 3 times as well, and you didn't even give it a second guess. You were just like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Mega Charizard X.
Get in the bin. You were saying that your channel does a lot of like Destiny and stuff like that. Right. Why did you choose to pick Destiny? What was the reasoning behind that?
At the time, again, going back to that ex-girlfriend thing, that was what we played. And so when I was starting streaming, at first, I really wasn't into Destiny when I was on stream. I was doing stuff like Dead by Daylight, Roblox, a little bit of Minecraft, some Jackbox stuff, stuff to grow the channel back then, because as we all know, back then on Twitch, it was really hard to just grow a channel from streaming only. I managed to make it work, but I also played Call of Duty back then, so that definitely helped a little bit. But once Shadowkeep hit for Destiny 2, I kind of just full centered on Destiny, and I met a lot of great people through content creation on Destiny and just playing the game. Like, that community is so good for just meeting new people and getting to have experience with them.
Yeah, man.
Versus a lot of other games out there, because it's just like the whole journey with Destiny just has felt so personal since I started it. I remember week 2 of Destiny 1 Vanilla, barely managing to get on the game because my brother gave me his copy for the Xbox 360. That's how far we're going back here, ladies and gentlemen. It's just now starting to lose online capabilities, and that is pain.
That's age, man.
that and the PS3 just feels so eternal. It feels like sacrilege to take them offline. I get it, but what the fuck, man? I'm in pain. But I remember grinding out so much with friends and a group between me, my ex-girlfriend, and an ex-friend of ours that we were all together at the time, just doing 3-man stuff in Destiny 1 and then Destiny 2. We started all drifted apart. I found myself in a lot of great friends through Destiny content, so I just kept rolling with it, and I've been invested in the series since the start. It's been 9 years. I'm not giving up on it now. I might as well see it all the way through the end.
Yeah,
But
fair
like,
enough.
I've been able to even play with people like I met recently that it's just felt like it's been forever since I've known them, but they've only been around for like a year or two, most of them. I really just enjoy connecting with people in the game. It's an experience like nothing else. And like all the people who are saying it's too late to start, it really isn't, because there are people that are high tier at the game that will show you it is never too late to start this game. If you are willing to put in the time and the drive, endless entertainment. Now, that out of the way, bonk, because of the Gen 5 meme. I don't know, why was Furret the meme for this in Gen 5 with the Accumula Town? It's not even Gen 5! Why was it the meme? If you didn't think, okay, I clicked on it. You didn't think I wasn't gonna pick that one. You're high as fuck. Read my name. Okay, we're done with that. Just wanted to throw that out there.
That's really interesting. Why? Why did you choose that?
I don't like Meganium's design. I actually think Bayleaf has a way better design. If they would have stuck with this more closely for Meganium, I might have actually picked the grass type starter and we'd have a different conversation. I'm not a fan of Meganium's design. And for alligators, my sworn enemy, so I can't make it my favorite water. Oh, flying? No. Fire was already that, so I gotta go this.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna make this the pick that a lot of people wouldn't expect.
Any reason?
I actually like Fortress's design.
Oh, really?
This is versus everything else. Like, this is the only thing else that comes close. Scizor was cool. Steelix was cool. They're upgrades to the Gen 1 Pokemon. It's like, that's awesome. I want to see the new designs a lot more. And then Skarmory, I rarely encountered because I played Gold instead of Silver. And Fortress, I saw the design. I was like, this is cool. I saw it in Stadium 2. This is fucking amazing.
Just to snap back to Skarmory, Skarmory is actually a really strange one because a lot of people didn't realize that it was even a Gen 2. Most people thought it was a Gen 3 because it was more readly available. Yeah.
Oh, gimmick forms here. Oh, well, Houndoom.
How is it not PC Master Race Ampharos?
I mean, it is S tier gamer, but this just, I would own this as a pet in real life.
You're right, fair dues. What is it that drives you as a content creator?
Just being around good people and having a community of people to just play games with and have fun. I really don't have much else to say on that, because the whole point of streaming is to build a community and to build a group of people you want to be around. And like over time, the group gets bigger, it gets smaller, the inner circle shrinks and expands and all this stuff. It's just, it's a constant up and down, but the highs for me have been so much more impactful than the lows that it's been worth to keep going. And it's just so much a part of my life and my schedule at this point that if I'm not working, I'm recording on Thursdays, or these days I'm streaming on Saturdays and Mondays. I'm just like, I am used to this. This is fine. This is what I want to do. I want to do this more. I don't have the capacity to do it right now. I have plans to change that this year. So hopefully that pans out. And I feel like it will, because I have a lot of good ideas for moving forward in the future. The thing about content creation is you don't know until you try. And a lot of people out there are going to be like, I gave it a try. It didn't work out for me. How much effort did you put forth? Were you thinking about getting yourself out there as much as possible, putting content out there that people would enjoy, but also that you were enjoying, because that's the biggest thing. If you're not enjoying the content you're making, 9 times out of 10 people aren't gonna watch. Even if you're like doing a meme where it's like to just shit on yourself and just like be funny, unless there's some good comedic value out of that, people aren't gonna watch it. You have to make content that you're happy putting out, because that will be your best content to get people to watch you. That is the bar none. That is the bare minimum. If you're not enjoying the content, if it looks like you're just gaming like you would be if you weren't having a camera pointed at your face. I don't know what else to tell you other than you need to be ready for if somebody comes in your chat. You need to be able to react to that in a timely manner because that is important.
Yeah.
If you want to build a community, you have to, reach out and talk to them and interact with people when they come by. Because if you stream, eventually you're going to get one person. If you keep going at it for long enough, you're going to get somebody that's chatting. You're going to get people talking. You're going to be able to talk with people and be like, hey, how y'all doing? You'll get to know people. You'll get to make connections, both within industries and with just personal people. Because that's the biggest thing when it comes to this. It's about making connections and growing that list of connections and that sphere of influence you have. Because it's you at the end of the day, it's your channel and it's your content. Do with it what you will, but the ultimate goal is that you really want to focus on making it as big as you feel comfortable making it. There are people that if I surpass them in viewership, I might take a step back to where that would lower or just quit altogether because it's a little too much for me. Like thousands upon thousands of people, that's a lot. That's a lot of people. That you could fill up a stadium with thousands of people. You could fill up a building with hundreds easily.
Yep.
There's buildings that have several hundreds as a maximum capacity. I know a school close by to me that's like, hey, if you got over like 800 people, get out. The mentality, and that's a mentality that my buddy AlphaTube TV gave to me a long time ago, that like you got 10 viewers, you can fill up a living room with that. 10 people, that's a little party. That's a lot to think about. Like even like 3 people, that's a pretty comfy experience with you plus 3 on a couch in a living room. Having a positive mentality when it comes to that kind of stuff is also important, because if you're not happy with the content you're producing and you're not happy doing whatever, find a way to make yourself happy with it. If you don't, it's not going to end up great for you. But
Cool.
If you have the mentality and the drive to push forward, do it. It's one of the most rewarding things I've ever had the ability to do in my life. It's opened up so much, and a lot of what I have right now would not be possible without it. So I'm very appreciative of where I'm at, and I'm very happy to be where I'm at. And
While you're going through this, I'm going to give you a curveball, bro.
Mm.
What's your favorite game?
It is a tie between Halo Combat Evolved and Pokemon Platinum version.
Ooh.
Ironically enough, none of the Gen 3 games really captured me the same way the Platinum did. That was an experience. And if you have not played that, play it.
I'm going to put this out there. Team Plasma. The music, the grunt battle music for Team Plasma is probably the best.
So hard.
It just hits. Like, I remember the first time it happened, the things come across the screen, and I'm just sat there as a kid with this flipping thing in front of me, with this music hitting me, and when I had hair, it was like...
Dragon, huh? Oh boy, I wonder what he's gonna pick. Big fucking shocker. As for the legends, actually, here's another shocker.
Okay, any reason?
It's kind of a popular Pokemon in all forms. Just, I really like it. And like when it comes to actually the Mega for Latios and Latios were actually really sick, but I don't think. Oh yeah, they have them.
It really frustrated me that they looked the same.
Yeah, that was really weird.
I think it's really good that you've not picked any other evolutions.
Yeah. They're all
Really good.
great. Just Eevee's iconic, and if I picked Vaporeon, I'm pretty sure the internet would flame me.
Obviously, we are part of the Respawn Recruits, and also congratulations on getting top 50, 55. So
They might have an issue with being able to count over there. It's fine though. I'm not gonna.
We don't blame Tyler, but we definitely also blame Tyler. Why did you choose to enter this competition and pursue Respawn? And what has been your favorite moment of the competition so far?
Honestly, getting into Respawn was pretty simple because all of the other like gaming chair companies were usually just gaming chairs, and they were also usually pretty fucking expensive. So I started seeing stuff like the Respawn 110, the V1 for like $110, and I'm like, bet. And that's like the 110 was what really got me interested. If you haven't seen, my broken ass V2 is what I'm currently sitting in. I have it covered with my blanket. But that one chair got me interested in seeing how this company is, and I saw all their options, and I'm like, Whoa. That's a lot of options. I like this. I like this, though. This is more than just a chair. You got things to go with your chair. It makes sense.
Yep.
This company makes sense. And then I saw that Respawn Recruits to get partnered with them was a thing, and I'm like, I'm a streamer. I make content. I'll give it a shot. Let's go. First year, top 1,000. I saw my name in there. Got eliminated in top 750. I was like, well, I put myself out there. Should have expected out of thousands of people to get cut pretty early on. I'm surprised I made it as far as top 1,000. That was pretty cool. Second year, top 100. And that year specifically was like the most mind-blowing thing because we still had like 1,000+ entrants for that year.
Yeah.
So out of all that, to make it to the top 10%, that just blew my. That was my like. I feel like that was a big crowning achievement for me being a part of Respawn. It's just last year's top 100 was so much more like just. It felt like so much more. It hit me so much deeper. Not to say that top 50 this year wasn't a huge hit because it was right at that level, but like I still remember like being so hyped. I just remember like freaking out when I saw top 100. I was just like, I was so happy that day. I was pumped. I ran through my work that day. I was just so happy. And last night with top 55, like the same thing happened again. I just ran through my work because I was just so focused, and it was also an easy night. So it just ended up being the perfect night to just be able to be in that feeling, to just sink in that feeling. But top 100 from last year was really where it hit to me. It was like, oh crap, in a sea of content creators, I'm in a pretty high tier. That's insane. Whereas like with top 55, like I'd made double digits, but it's like I expected to at least get to the same point as I was last year. And now I've gone a little bit further, and I'm sitting here like, there's progress, there's growth, there's progression there. And I'm very happy to see this. But that last year was just like, it was the big catalyst for me pushing myself to get to this point. So I have to say that was probably the best year of Respawn for me, despite not even making out of triple digits. And I'm still grateful to this day that I even applied the first place for the first year, because it's led me to meet other creators and be able to, you know, make more connections.
Kabalion it is.
Actually, you know what? Among Us. It's because of the memes. It's more my popular favorite these days.
So I've got one final question before we end out.
Right.
Do me a favor. Scroll straight back over to the favorites, because we're going to use them in a second. But before we cap out, I'm going to give you one chance and 1 second. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. But which other recruit would you vouch for given the opportunity?
Untamed Cupcake. I'm not even gonna front. Like, I got plenty of people in here that I recognize, and even a buddy of mine who I met through Respawn Recruits that's now a big part of my channel, the Iron Demon. I'm gonna give him a shout out as well, like a good mention here, because he's been such a big support over the past couple months that I couldn't not mention him. But when I saw the fact that Untamed Cupcake did not make it for top 55, my heart sank. Like, two people that I expected to make it very far this year were Cupcake and Court Slay. I saw Court Slay get up there, and then as the list kept going on, I'm like, they're gonna make Cupcake the last one, aren't they? And then they brought out the final 5, and Cupcake wasn't on there, and I'm like, what? And then they pulled the secret one with me on it, and I'm like, I got in over Cupcake? What are you doing? Respawn! She's such a good creator. She's so wholesome and positive and energetic. How did I get picked over somebody like that? I don't know how Cupcake didn't make it in. It still blows my mind, and I really hope there's like a chance to like revive another recruit before this competition is over.
They keep
my
saying
is 100% going to Cupcake. There's no shot she doesn't make it. I got the chance to meet her last recruits and game with her and talk with her. She's so sweet. She's so nice. She's so wholesome. My heart sank when I didn't see her name. I was in shock. I can't imagine seeing Respawn Recruits without seeing that name pop up.
It's great for you to say, but like they always say, man, it's not over till it's over.
It's
So-
not. Once a recruit, always a recruit. That's what they
100%.
say.
100%, man.
This is a competition, but it's also a collaborative effort, a way of making connections and making content with people you would have never made content with otherwise. We're just competing to push ourselves to be better, not with everybody else. The whole point of this is to be a better you and to give you more drive, push yourself to newer heights, and start thinking more long-term about content. If this is what I'm capable of in the eyes of Respawn, just doing what I've been doing and keeping it consistently, imagine what they'd see me as if I stepped up my game and really started pushing content. That's really what it is. Is just, this is a way to test who you are as a content creator and to push yourself to be better. That's the biggest thing. It's just, this is a motivator for effort. Like, getting Respawn partners is great, but just seeing how far you can make it and how much you progress as a creator in the weeks or even in the days between the cuts. Just go back and look at that and tell me you didn't improve. And I will call you a liar, because you did. You did something out of your comfort zone. That's amazing. That's awesome. And that is what you should be striving for. Pushing yourself to be the better you. In life, you don't get many opportunities to push for what you want, to be a better you. Take that opportunity, remember.
All I need you to do, dude, is actually explain to me what each one of these favorites mean to you.
Well, Mega Charizard X, obviously, if you were paying attention to the list,
Yep.
Charizard is my favorite. And Mega Charizard X, Gen 6 was the last gen I was really hyped for with Pokemon. When I played Gen 6, I heard about Mega Evolution, I saw Charizard, I saw the two different types between X and Y, and I knew a lot of people were going to go for Y for Yveltal, looking at the legendary, but then realizing, oh crap, Charizard's Mega is not that great. So I went with X because I actually did like Xerneas over Yveltal, and I highly preferred Mega Charizard X over Y, not only for the look, but for the typing.
So, Typhlosion has got to be pretty straightforward, right?
For Typhlosion. Very straightforward, very understandable, very easy to pin down. I want you to take a look at Meganium. That design. It's nice, it's simple, it's an evolution of Bayleaf. It's not the evolution I was looking for. It was not what I wanted to see. Going from Totodile, Crocodile to Feraligatr. Feraligatr, you know, looks pretty cool. It's pretty badass. It's got spikes all over it. It looked kind of goofy back in the day with the old sprites. I wasn't vibing with it. I didn't want to mess with that. I saw this little cheeky little mouse thing with flames on its back, and I'm like, whoa. And then I saw it go into this little noodle mouse with a flame on its butt and its head, and I'm like, whoa. And then this legendary design, which is a huge cut of flame on its back, is standing on two legs, it's got the arms to flex, it's got a face that looks like it's about to bite you off. I'm like, wow, what is this? I was not ready for this, but I'm here for it. I love it, and it's fantastic, and I need this in my life. Also, it can learn Thunder Punch. I don't think I need to say much more than that. And just the design just stuck in my head for years because I started on Gen 2. That was my gen. This is the gen that got me hooked onto Pokemon. And Typhlosion was my starter from the beginning. My custom character isn't even like the normal Typhlosion. It's the creation I made from that base sprite all those years ago. And it's to this day, like my all-time favorite starter. Nothing will top this design. We're gonna go with Grovyle. And I was gonna pick Sceptile for this. I was. And then I just realized how much more of an iconic like design that Grovyle had, and how much more of an impact that Grovyle has had as a Pokemon trainer, as a Pokemon fan for me over the years versus any of the other Gen 3 starters. Like, I never chose Mudkip. I chose it like 3 playthroughs out of like the like 100 I've done of Emerald, Sapphire, Ruby, all of them. And it was a tie between Sceptile and Blaziken. I would just pick whichever one I was vibing with at the time. But
Fair.
even though I probably picked Blaziken more, the playthroughs I've had with Sceptile were just so much more relaxed, so much more fun, so much like less weird, if that makes sense. Like going from Grovyle to Sceptile in a design standpoint for me is kind of a downgrade because I really like Grovyle's sleek aesthetic, but I mean it's still a good Evo. It's still great. I just prefer Grovyle's in the grand scheme of things.
So
as for Giratina, it got picked
obvious.
1, 2, 3 times. 3 times here. So pretty easy to understand why Giratina is my favorite. I vividly remember back when I was in middle school, was the worst time of my life. I got bullied a lot. I got picked on in school, got in a bunch of fights that I got beat up in. Pokemon back then, like for me, was fully ingrained by that point. I was super into Gen 3, and like I finally managed to get my hands on a DS so I could just play Gen 4. But back then, like my DS was like broken. I barely got to touch Pokemon Diamond. And then I finally get like my own DS, and then there was a little competition. There was a little game night in the cafeteria at that school. And one of the competitions was, hey, if you do really well at this game, you can win a $50 Best Buy gift card. And I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I'm a bit of a gamer. I won first place. I got the $50 Best Buy gift card. And then literally like 3 days later, I was with my mom at a Best Buy not too far away. I got a copy of Platinum, and I got a 2 gig SD card for Nintendo Wii because we also had a Nintendo Wii at the time. So she had to pay a little bit extra because I was a derpy kid that got the SD card. But Mom, big shout out to you for letting me get that game, because it has been one of the most prolific gaming experiences I have ever had in my entire time gaming. When I saw Giratina origin form in the Distortion world for the first time, this legendary is stuck in my head so hard that for my custom Typhlosion, he actually transforms into a Giratina. I am not joking. This is legitimately a serious thing I'm throwing out to y'all here. It goes from Typhlosion to Typhlosion Giratina Hybrid to Giratina. That's how much these two characters between 2 different generations mean that much to me. Giratina's design is sick. In origin form, it's sleek, it's serpentine, it represents some evil aura. It's so clean, and I love it. It's fantastic. As for Gen 5, I really feel like Reshiram should probably put in the this spot, because I saw Reshiram, and this is around the time where I started to have more of, I'm actually gonna pick Reshiram for that instead.
Quick
This was
changeover.
around the time I started to have a little bit more of a conscience. Up until like Gen 5, as a human being, I was kind of just flying by the seat of my pants, just being a dumb teenager, saying whatever, just to feel like I was fitting in. But when Gen 5 came around, I really started to sort of find who I was as a person. This was like, for a lot of Pokemon fans, I feel like this generation was like the generation that people really started to really feel like they knew who they were IRL. They're starting to discover more about themselves, and the philosophies in this gen are also one of the biggest highlights. This generation was a love letter to the end of a dynamic era for this franchise. I saw Zekrom, you know, this sick looking thing. It's all black, it's all sleek, it's all awesome. It's got the arms, it's got the small wings, it's got the generator of electricity on its back. And I saw Reshiram just looking like more of an actual dragon with the flowing mane. The tail's got flowing. It generates heat, and like versus ideals, I felt like the black and white kind of dynamic that they went for the yin and yang of it, connecting via truth and ideals in that generation. I felt like instead of being a more idealistic person, I felt like I was more seeking the truth of life and the truth of the environment and everything I believe in and live for in life during that generation. I wanted Reshiram. I actually still to this day like Reshiram over Zekrom. And just the design, just like it's the Pokemon that looks like it's looking for something. It's seeking something out. It's not gonna stop until it finds what it's looking for. That's me as a human. This was the first generation I actually went to, like, I seriously went to GameStop for events for like the shiny dogs for the movie, the Arceus and the event Mewtwo. I went to GameStop for those. I was seriously invested in just doing the stuff for Pokemon back then in that gen, and that was really the start, the beginning of the end for like having the drive to go out into the world and do that kind of stuff and to go to events for, because they really started playing into the online functionality in Gen 6. I think that's what killed a lot of the charm. It's just like a lot of the upgrades we got in Gen 6, in hindsight, just felt like they were just trying to push a button at Game Freak and Pokemon. It's just, I still love the sprites and seeing them animated on my DS brick. This thing, it's broken. I'm gonna get it fixed. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I swear I'll get it fixed with a custom shell, everything. Seeing animated sprites on this thing, which was already like almost a decade old at that point, was insanity. You could tell back in the first 5 gens for Pokemon, they really poured their heart and soul into this franchise. And like Gen 5 was the end of an era. And now that people are able to look back on the franchise as a retrospective, a lot more people are fans of Gen 5 than ever before. It's such a worthy game, and it deserves every right of a playthrough for anybody even remotely interested in Pokemon. And like, the truth of it is, this is the generation that touched my heart the most, despite me being a huge Gen 2 and 4 fan, because of the fact that I went through this game, I played through it, and I really got invested into it, despite not having nearly as much playtime as I did with Platinum or something like Pokemon Gold. Gen 5 was the gen that probably ended the traditional way Pokemon was. And Reshiram's the Dragon of Truth. So just kind of fits, that's my favorite.
I think we've summed up pretty much everything we want to, so thank you very, very, very much, Shyphlosion, for joining us in this one. It's been really good. I appreciate you coming around and doing this.
Glad to have joined.
100%. Best of luck to getting to top 25, and hopefully I'll see you there.
With that said, I'm gonna peace out. Thanks for having me on the interview, Silencer. It's nice to be able to finally get to talk to you.
Absolutely, you're very welcome. Take care of yourself, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.